Juji, you're in some sort of shape. What sport would that be?
Well, it's bodybuilding shape. I'm going to go ahead and say I'm in bodybuilding shape right now because a lot of people are telling me I need to step on stage.
And should I enter a bodybuilding show, also going through some bodybuilding poses in that video story. And that received 91% yeses.
But my posing needs work, and I just happen to have the world's best poser, Greene. Which we're allowed to take our shirts off in, which is perfect, and take our pants off.
Oh, his pants are off.
Yeah, pants are off. You know, my legs are my weak point. Like in terms of posing, they're not like totally small, but I don't know how to use them for posing.
Yeah, how do you get a pump for a bodybuilding show?
Okay, first thing, let's not even worry about a pump.
Okay.
Why? Because pump is probably really overrated. What we need to be worried about is neurological connection, neurological awareness, and the first thing we want to be present or aware of is the floor beneath our feet.
Okay.
Every pose starts from the floor up. Touch your neighbor and say, every pose starts from the floor up. Every pose starts from the floor up.
Every pose starts from the floor up.
Every pose starts from the floor up.
Every pose starts from the floor up.
Okay, without further ado, what we're going to do is...
I didn't know that.
Yes.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely. We're going to take our attention to the mirror just in front of us. Well, you look good in the mirror. Now what we're going to do is try to make sure we can show all of that.
Okay.
You got big dreams.
Yeah.
You want fame.
Yeah.
Well, fame costs.
All of it.
And right here is where we start paying in sweat.
All right.
All right, so we're going to work. All right, first thing we're going to do is, though, we want to become conscious of the floor beneath our feet.
This is fun.
So we plant our feet on the floor.
All right.
Plant our feet on the floor. Every time we do a pose, we're going to become aware of our feet on the floor. So with that said, what I want to do is I want to tell you about 8 poses. This is a vocabulary that everybody needs to know when you get on stage at your traditional bodybuilding show. We're going to start with the front double bicep. All right. That's what's up. All right. And I like it. Okay. This is really good. Really good. And let's go into a quarter turn to the right, which means we're going to just turn to our right and stand from our side. Good news, we're going to do a side tricep. Uh-oh, somebody's been working already.
Okay.
I can see it. No side is a weak side.
Okay.
There's something to be offered from every side. That's why we're going to do this like this. Side chest. Bang.
Okay.
Uh-oh. Somebody's been practicing. All right. And quarter turn to the right again. And again, quarter turn to the right. We're going to back that mirror. This one. No. Your other right. This way. There you go. Nice. I like it. And relax. And relax one.
Here it comes.
Uh-oh.
Here it comes.
Oh, somebody's got tricks up their sleeve. Somebody's working on their display. Good news. Okay, let's do another quarter turn. Yes. We're going to do a side tricep from here. Side tricep, side tricep, side tricep. There you go. Nice.
There you go.
Nice. Very nice. And now side chest.
Okay. Maybe I didn't need to get a pump for this.
Yeah. Good. Good. And relax. Ooh. Quarter turn to the right again. Nope, that means your face. Yes. Yes. Good. And abdominal and thigh. All right. Good move. Good move. Yeah, relax. Beautiful. Most muscular.
It's muscular. Oh, yeah, of course.
Yeah. Beautiful. All right. All right, so congratulations, man. We just went through the 8 mandatory compulsory poses.
Okay.
Dude, you're in amazing shape.
Thank you.
And your physique is awesome. You've obviously been working on this thing because you got a complete physique from the floor up. From the bottom to the top, from the rooted to the tutor.
Rooted to the tutor.
Rooted to the tutor. What we're going to do right now is we're going to talk a little bit about breaking some of these poses down. Let's do this.
Okay.
Let's, in 5 minutes or less, let's start turning our quarter turns.
All right.
So the quarter turns, everything starts from the floor up, right? So what happens is we want to always be mindful of planting our feet on the floor, turning our toes out, which means that when we bend our knees, we give our knees a place to go.
Okay.
See that right there? What you just did.
Yeah.
See what happens when you do that? You automatically start to activate your quads. Yes? Activating those quads.
So wait, my feet didn't point out. Because it's like I'm pressing out, like spreading floor?
Well, when you turn your toes out, right? Because when you turn your toes out, your knees follow, and that gives them a place to go. Think about this: if you were to bend without that, then you bend in here. This causes problem with your knee.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So what happens is when we turn those toes out, when we bend those knees, we give those knees a place to go with the bend, right?
Yeah.
And then what happens is you're able to immediately with that bend, you put an isometric contraction now on that quad. So now those quads, see how those fibers start to just start working their way out there? See that?
Yeah.
Now, if you also start to do something called trying to pull your knees to your chest, then you turn your toes out, give your knees a place to go, right? You bend down slightly, you take your pelvis, and you're able to rock that pelvis back a little bit. Let me show you. So rock that pelvis back a little bit. And what happens is my ass goes back, but when I do that from the front, and I start to pull my knees to my chest, what happens is rectus force comes alive. All that little detail you got going on in there starts walking its way out. There you go. See that? Look at that.
Okay, detail.
Don't block it. Don't block it with your upper body.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to avoid. All right.
You're blocking? Okay.
Now don't stay there like that now. Because now you want to look like you're standing up. And you make it happen and make it look effortlessly. Make it look effortless. But now what we're doing now, we're talking about becoming conscious of the floor, placing our feet on that floor, and now with the placement of our feet and the neurological contractions, neurological awareness of our muscles, we start to make those muscles contract and press out from underneath the skin. Now because you're so dialed and developed, guess what? With the right lighting, all that detail just starts to walk out. And this is how we start talking about displaying it. You get me? What I would want you to do though is I want you to stay there like that, but that's not, we don't want to stay squatted down.
Yeah.
We want to pick that up just a little bit and look like we're standing straight up. Ah, there you go. Now I want you to hold that. Flex this hard. Pull those knees. We're going to count to 10. 1, 2, 3, 4. Flex this hard now. 5. Flex it hard. 6. Pull those knees to your chest. 8, 9, 10. All right. Relax for a second. Now, one thing I'd like to become conscious of too is placement of that foot. Not this. Don't do that. Okay. Don't put this back because we want to enhance the visual capability here, right? So look at my foot.
Yeah.
I got my toe. I got my heel. Yeah. In the middle is where I want to
body.
In the middle of my instep is where I want to plant the ball of my foot. Right? Now what happens is when we do that and we squat down just a little bit, remembering to flex, yeah. Now, when you become conscious of trying to ride that knee out, guess what happens? Activation occurs on that glute.
So I'm trying to make the knee go this way?
Yes. Now see how this vastus lateralis and your iliotibial bend, see how this stuff starts to pop out? Tensor fasciae latae. You look like an anatomy chart, bro. Somebody can teach anatomy looking at you here. Yeah, there you go.
So there's weight on the ball of my foot?
Yes.
Okay, right there.
Yes.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So I put my weight on this foot?
Yup.
Okay.
Flex. Flex. Dot. Look at this. So, external. Okay.
Burn.
Okay. You need to be aware of your muscles.
Okay.
You get what I'm saying? Because this is how you're able to flex them. If you were to pump these things up before you get on stage, now everything's so pumped. Everything's pumped now, I get on stage and I'm just thinking about a pump. Those guys usually, a lot of times, they're the guys that by the time they get to the stage, they were overpumped. And now they can't feel stuff.
Yeah.
And those guys start to shake and lose control. If you were one of those guys that are really working on the pump, that usually identifies you as possibly one of these guys that are just getting started. The veteran guy on that stage, he wasn't trying to pump and work out backstage. You know what he was doing? He was sitting there with his tracksuit on. And he was watching the clock. And while everybody else is doing the push-ups and, hey, I want to get pumped. I want to be pumped. What else can I do? Pull-ups. Those guys will run out they'll sprint, and they'll get on the stage, and then guess what happens? They start to lose that pump. And when they lose that pump, they start to get cold.
Yeah.
And they start losing awareness of what to do and where they're at. Meanwhile, the other guy that was slow, methodical, was aware, and able to move like a technician. Because he was aware, that guy is able, his body is just starting to come alive on stage. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So he's not worried about the pump. In fact, the guy that's the masterful technician that's aware of this bodybuilding game, showing his physique under the lights on stage, he's not worried about a pump. If anything, he's worried about getting ready, making sure he can feel things. Because now when he gets on stage, once you start going through his quarter turns, he's going to work. I'll give you his Leela. And one of the, I believe, NAVA pro bodybuilders also got to watch veteran masterful poser when those guys backstage. Posing is not just pretty movements and flashy stuff. Posing is about neurological awareness. All those other tricks that you've learned, that stuff all comes together and it shows itself from the floor up. And that's when you're able to say, wow, you know what? This guy is the man.
Because I think my back is my strongest point.
No, your back is not your strongest point.
It's not.
No. Overall development is your strongest point. You are complete from the floor. You have development everywhere. So it's obvious that you've been consciously training. You know, your calves are developed, your hamstrings are developed, your quads are developed, your back, your lower lats, your middle trap, your upper trap. You have the reason why people are identifying you the way that they are. Wow, we need to get ready for a show. They're not saying, wow, dude, you got some big ass arms. You know what I mean? There's a difference between having big arms and being what looks like a complete physique.
Okay.
When people are responding to you, they're responding to the years of invested effort that you've put into developing the different parts of your body. What happens is when we see it all together, we say, wow, you know, his lats are developed, his chest is developed, his arms are developed, his forearms are developed, your delts are developed, your calves are developed. That is the thing that we're responding to when we start talking about bodybuilding.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean? And I believe that's why you're able to hear the word bodybuilding in your mind and it resonates with, yeah, I'm interested in bodybuilding. If you were just a dude that had great condition right now and just a back, somebody would say, well, what are you, a runner? But they're not saying that.
Yeah.
You're not even saying that. You get what I'm saying?
No, I hear you.
And I believe the reason why is because there's an idea, at least in the back of your mind, that relates to the concept of complete total body development that you're somewhat conscious of, even when you don't think that you are. So when you said to me like just now, hey man, you know, my back is my best. Your back isn't your best. You know, your mind is everything, and it's that conscious mind that's been demonstrating the effort that's obviously seeable and noticeable with development everywhere in your physique. You have a physique, not just a back.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Kai, that means more than you think it means to Juji coming from you. He's on the inside, he's really, really happy. He's very bashful right now, but this means a ton coming from you.
Oh well, I'm not just trying to stroke.
Oh, I know.
So I know you wouldn't
Very,
do that.
very
No.
Very, very impressive.
Yeah.
Right, half section the foot like we did.
Yeah.
Right? Flex on the, yes. Okay, now bring that knee in because you don't want to let it sit out there.
Yeah.
You know, the idea is to just be aware of it so you can activate the glute and
Okay.
and
I
flex
got
the
you. I got you.
fan.
Sitting on
Yes.
it. All right.
Yes. All right, good news. All right, now see, here's the thing with the lean. You don't have to lean now.
Yeah.
Pick that chest up, right? Sit on it, and that's it. You don't see like the greats, they're not leaning. Like when you see like a Bob Paris pose or when it's a side chest, they're sitting straight up. So the idea was to flex your upper, the pec that's furthest away, right?
Is it?
Yeah, don't lean.
Don't do it like this.
Don't lean. Yes. Yes, that's very pretty. That's very, very, very pretty. And you don't have to turn so exaggerated.
Oh.
Yeah, there you go. Mm-hmm.
That?
Yep. Perfect.
Left turn?
Left turn. Right there is, so this is it. Because remember, there's people on this side of the auditorium, people in the middle, and then there's people on this side. Your physique now, you have muscles that have to be displayed.
Okay.
There's an art to displaying them, and the way we display them is by becoming conscious of them. I guess this is where I start to realize why I'm saying, don't worry about the pump, because the pump will mislead you. And you go, oh, ow. A pump can start to cause contractions that are outside of my control. Then I might have to let a pump subside. But neurological awareness is everything, because it's through that I'm able to become conscious of my instrument and start to use it more effectively to display. Highly erectors, lats, rear delts, wrong waist, finish track. Okay, now when you're here, think about this. If I push your elbows forward, what do you do?
Fall forward.
You don't fall forward, you have to resist.
Okay.
You have to push your elbows back. When you push your elbows back, what happens is your rear delts and your traps. So if I've got to push your elbows forward, you're resisting. Guess what's happening? You're contracting, you're activating your rear delts and your traps. That's important.
Okay.
Because now.
So you're trying to pull back.
Yes.
Too. I didn't know that.
Yes, but that's how you show all that detail there. It's like doing a bent over dumbbell lateral. The exercise in the gym, and to now use the isometric contraction to display the muscle is the same thing. This is why when you're doing the bent over dumbbell lateral or bent over barbell lateral, this is why it's not always important to use a whole bunch of weight. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
As much as it is important to become aware of the muscles that are contracting and to contract them under control, because that is how you improve your ability to display them.
I want to take a break for a second.
Yes.
I want you all to notice how worked up Kai has gotten. You're worked up more sweat than I have from posing. This is how passionate he is about all of this. This is amazing to watch. You're glowing right now. You're glowing, you're sweating, you're working your ass off. You care so much about this, and I feel that you care about me, so I want to thank you very much. I genuinely feel that you do care.
Yeah, this is definitely. I mean, I know the cameras are on.
Yeah, no, I know.
But the truth is, yeah, man, this is a welcomed opportunity. One, because it's something that I really have taken a lot of time.
Yeah.
It really has meant a lot to me. From the beginning of my journey as a competitive bodybuilder, and technically, in large part, it's one of the largest reasons why the discipline of competitive bodybuilding is so important, and why it can never be separated from the art form. You know, once you separate it from the art form, that's when it becomes the other things that people talk about, PEDs, numbers, and other nonsense. You know, there is a really beautiful art form that talks about self-mastery, self-discipline, that is able to be experienced in this game, just like every other, sport and discipline that I'm sure you are able to understand and probably talk to me about on very intense levels in terms of everything that you do, as amazing as you are. This is something that has been very, very near and dear to me, and it's been an honor to be able to share this moment with you. And if there was one thing that I want to leave with you, is the isometric contraction. You know what I mean? That is the thing that has to lead you, not just in the gym, but also in your ability to display the muscle. So to build the muscle is one thing, but to be able to display it, it's still true. It's that isometric contraction. And the only way to do that is to be able to feel and connect with your instrument.
Kai, do you think Juji should experience doing a show?
Yeah, why not? Yeah, but
COVID Classic 2020.
But you want to do the show, you can do the show. But it looks like you've done a lot of development without thinking about doing the show. That is going to a place and buying a ticket and encouraging other people to buy tickets. This is a masterpiece. You know what I mean? And anytime you do what you do with your platform. You're unveiling, you're sharing this artwork with the world. You know what I mean? So the show doesn't necessarily have to be the place where they buy tickets, you know, with one organization or another organization, and then somebody else, you know, makes money off of that. As much as I'm trying to recognize the idea that this is your masterpiece. Every time you walk and do what you do, you show a tremendous amount of work and effort that has gone into the specifics of how you thought. So every time we see that, we see it. This is a body of work that testifies to, you know, man, for 2 hours a day, you know, 1 day a week, 3 times a week, I focused on thinking about training my chest. For three times a week, or 4 times a month, or 7 times, you know, I've worked on my delts. You know, whether you say it or not with your mouth, your body speaks volumes of how you thought and what you were thinking about for those periods of time. So, you know, getting ready for a show, I think the show is every time you take off your shirt, every time you share or unveil for us. What we can see is hours and hours of complex thinking that led to activity that ultimately was supported and reinforced by nutrition and rest that, you know, allows for this masterpiece to be unveiled.
So that was the show.
Yeah, every day
Thank
is
you
a
for
show.
watching the show, YouTube.
Yeah.
Every episode is a show.
Absolutely.
Well, Kyle, thank you so much.
No,
man.
thank you. That's what's up.
It is what's up. That's the best.